As always, always have the ladies with me to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues of the day. And I have with me this afternoon Buki Femi Ajala. Good afternoon, Buki.
Yeah, good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, everyone here.
How you doing?
Getting ready for the weekend.
You're right.
Cha cha cha
Yeah.
cha. Oh, glory to God.
And I also have Ibinabo Dixon in the studio. Good afternoon, Ibinabo.
Good afternoon, Bukola. Good afternoon, Buki. Buki said, "Oh, without the checkering, I'm going to do like
Okay
this."
now.
TGIF. TGIF.
Come on now.
Honestly, I'm excited that it's Friday. Oh. Really?
I'm overexcited. My excitement is overboard.
You know what people ask me? They'll ask me, they'll say, "What's your excitement gone, Seth?" At the end of the day, you understand?
We know, right? But at least the fact that these days is not the day I was supposed to wake up very early in the morning. I say, I have to go to this. I have to go to this. You might still have to go to some places, but then a little relaxed.
What of those of us who are the ones that will tell ourselves when to wake up and when to sleep?
I don't know who I was talking to. I said, Kai, I've been an adult. I don't do like a scam. Because it's very interesting to know that someone that is having the headache of what are you going to eat, take this money. I don't have to think about making money. I'm like, what? Adulthood is a whole lot. And all of the times I'm like, I celebrate people that have been adults for a long while.
Honestly, I remember as a child I was just desperately looking forward to being an adult. Why?
I'm telling you,
if I tell you the reasons, you will laugh. Because of oats. Oatmeal. You know the portion that we get to me is like it's small now.
Can you imagine?
And to my parents it's like you want to purge, you not have a thing. So I said, when I'm an adult, I can finish one can. I'll just empty everything in the pot.
No, but the mind of a child is actually very sweet.
Ask me when last I took.
I'm just laughing at you.
Honestly, very, very funny reason for wanting to be an adult.
I'm telling you.
Then what else again? We're going.
Interesting.
You know we're going. I mean the original we're going. So there was this person that used to come and help out in the house. Then, so they that maybe that was an auntie or something, but they had going joints in their area. So the first time I went there with my sister, she said, that's okay. Look at, she was not introducing us to our madam. Hey, come on, see plenty of original, not the fake ones are saying now. original we're going with the pepper and the oil. Do you know that it's good to be a child. Move modeling. It's like our house was too far. Let's get Now ask me when last. Oh my God. Sometimes that's why I always tell my children, take it easy. Just take one day at a time.
But at that point, you're telling your children, they're not thinking of it that one day at a time.
Just enjoy every phase of your life.
Exactly.
Enjoy every phase.
Trying.
Every phase has its own responsibility.
Yeah. Stop bouncing here and there because he wants to be.
It has its own responsibility. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. And yes, the phone line to be open shortly for you to make your contributions on Panorama this afternoon. And we're going to be starting off with, the fact that the Ogun State governor, that's Governor Dapo Abiodun, has said that, public schools in Ogun State next term are going to start off with using the Adire fabric that is, it is known. Abeokuta is known for that, especially for Adire making. And, just before we came up, we're having a conversation on this, and there has been the fact that these, I would say, this industry, textile industry now for a while, has just really been localized, has not really been made global. And it's something that if it's properly looked into, we'll be able to generate a whole lot for Ogun State if it's properly looked into. But then the whole initiative, first of all, is let us try it out. That's what I feel with schools. And for me, I think this is a very good one. It means the government is actually looking at what is it that is unique to us that we can begin to think of improving on to be able to generate revenue for us. And this is the way every governor is supposed to be thinking. No matter no matter what it is or how your state is and all of that, there must be something that is unique to your state that you should be able to think and be able to you should be able to think of to bring in income for your own state. But I would like to get your thought, Buki.
Yeah, when I read the document, no, yeah, the document, yes, the document, the information, I was cool with it. You're using the slang of now. you know, cool with it in the sense that it made a lot of sense to me, and I think it's the way to go for. Though there are, I wouldn't say disadvantages, there are concerns which I believe that when they look at it critically, they can actually overcome it. But when you look at uniforms, what does it really say in the context of the educational sector? It talks about brand, it talks about identity. And then, if we do it very well, once you put on your uniform, you have to go along the lines, the values of your school, because once you put on that uniform, you know that, I have to comport with the values of my institution. So that would sell a long way for the fact that this is our own, it's African, it's indigenous. But the concerns, I mean, the whole idea is beautiful, and I say kudos. And in fact, I put my leg and my hand into it. But then, I think I want to look at the concerns that we need to look at critically. I mean, like you mentioned before we started the program, we were having a dialogue on it, and Daniel was actually saying that there's no trademark on it yet, and for me, I was not asking him. I said, "Do we now have heavy machines, that can roll out, the material, in large quantities?" That I know in my mind, the last I knew of that industry is that it's still
Manual.
It's still manual. I mean, they still use pots, and then I don't know where the dyes are coming from, and then of course I don't know where the material is coming from. You understand? I know in Pastor Tutu Bakari's book, when he wrote the woman that saw the future, that's about his mom, and then he made mention of the fact that that's what the mom does. And years back, I mean, when Ojo Tetila, people came from I think I've forgotten the country now, but outside the country, I think it's in the United States of America. They came because they had looked at the fabric, and they have found out that his mom's fabric is the one that stands. It doesn't wash.
It stands out.
It stands out. It does not wash. No matter what soap or whatever, it doesn't wash. So they actually had to ask to come over, to come and demonstrate to the students over there. And I'm talking about years ago. I mean, one can pick that. I'm talking about years ago. But where am I going is the fact that is an industry that has stayed for a very long time. And if the government is looking at it, then I think we need to put all our energy into it, but ensure that, one, we need the machines to roll out the prints. We need, and then it's not just income; it will also create employment for our youths, because now you will have industries that are producing the dye.
Okay.
You have industries that are actually producing the material rather than bringing in the material. Because if we really sit down and look at the cost, it is a lot that is taken out, because most of these things are still imported, I want to believe. But if without looking out, I can imagine how many yards of material they will need. And then, they'll have different designs based on the school, which will be really beautiful. Because, I mean, if you look at the industry for fashion, it is a lot for us in Nigeria, and I think adding this will really make a lot of sense to it. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Binaba, I would like to get your thoughts generally on the story, right? But Buki also mentioned something with regards the fact that getting people is going to create more employment opportunities for people. Now, there are some persons that have been into this before the government, now started looking at making it on a larger scale. What becomes of those people? Now, these people, is the government going to look into probably collaborating with these people, or is the government just going to take over what they have been doing for God knows when they have been doing that? And now the government wants to do that, and definitely the government is going to do it on a larger scale. It's going to entail equipment and all of that to be able to produce the kind of quantity to meet the market's demand.
Thank you, Bukola. First of all, I want to say that this thought that has emanated from the Ogun State governor, when I read it, I was like, oh, if this was a book, it would have been a bestseller. Understand? Because you see, we have always said one thing, that every governor should look inwards. We should not always be dependent on what is coming from the center alone. I mean, how are you going to generate your IGR? It's not by slamming all of the taxes on the citizens of your state alone. But at least,
sorry to cut you in. I read somewhere, I'm not sure, that one governor wants to start taxing people on every loaf of bread.
I read it too.
But let's just, okay. So
it's good. It's a good initiative, and it is hugely welcome and everything. But I feel that Yoruba will say "Owokidowo lorun." This is not just some fabric we're talking about. It's like something that is part of the culture, part of the tradition of the people of Ogun State. You understand? So you can't it's like thinking that a governor will come and take away your culture away from you. The culture that is not hurting anyone, that is not harmful to anybody. They cannot. They can only expand on it. And in that light, I feel that I would rather say the government have to come up with high quality, because, like Buki said, I have some idea that they have refused to fade. Are you getting it? And it is so exciting, because there's some materials you will get, and before, and I know we are from the tropical region. Sometimes the sun is like it's about to bake somebody here. So so when you have such high quality material, to me, why I'm so excited about it is that I've always thought that the government of that state should have escalated the beauty of this fabric, and they should have made it something that would be known internationally. Though some people, it's known, but not at the level where one would really say, yes, this material is known worldwide. I remember that some years back, I used to, when I'm around, I would get a lot of different designs, and make all these very simple summer wears and take them abroad. So if government can come in there on a large scale, you understand, I think it is laudable. My worry is that Adriana Poma and Cleto, let it not be that government will not come into it now.
Then becomes so expensive.
Then the prices will begin to hit the roof, and then the people who used to afford it are left out. You understand?
I know my own concern now. The fact that you mentioned this is the people's culture, right? But then, just like you said, that by the time the government now comes into it, hope it's not going to become more expensive. But then also, hope it's not now going to be deterring these people that are probably doing it on a smaller scale from being able to have that market where they can sell theirs.
Bukola, if government is wise, because if they are not wise, they wouldn't come up with this. The best thing government can do is to collaborate with those people.
Yeah.
Because I believe so much in the idea that I'll buy from that local woman. You understand? Because she puts every effort, every experience she has garnered over the years, she continues to put them in every address she's really around. You understand? So for me to believe in the quality that is coming from the government, I want to hear that there is a collaboration between the government and those people. You cannot leave them out of it It is not. If you do, people like me will not patronize because I will have my doubts. Because I believe strongly. I have friends who would, when they come for holiday in Nigeria, they want to go to Abeokuta before they go back. They want to get some adire fresh from the oven. You understand?
Yeah.
So we with the government of Ogun State, I don't think they would, embark on a journey and leave behind the
people,
the should I call them?
pioneers.
Yes, those
pioneers.
yes. So it's not possible. They have to carry them along.
The thought that just came in now is that there are many ways that the government can look at it. I remember that even now, when I go to the market and I want to buy melon, I ask them for hand peel. I don't ask them for machine peel.
Mm-hmm.
The thought just came, and at times you go outside of the country, and then you see handmade, and then the other one that is not handmade. The one that is handmade has a price because the hands did it. So where am I going is that I want to think. I want to believe that the government will critically look at this thing and protect that local industry where it becomes whatever comes out of theirs becomes premium.
Yes.
Then the one for school uniform, which you will not be able to buy in the local market, you can only buy if you are a school owner or you are into that, you make uniforms for school. Then they can run that, and of course I believe that will have its own pattern. They cannot be making different patterns, like we have in the market. It will be a pattern for a particular school. So they can concentrate on that and do that for school uniforms where they protect this local one and make it premium, handmade,
And he also mentioned that government functionaries, they do adorn it every Friday. It's their own TGI.
Yes, which is very good. Just like a showcase.
Yes.
So, it is still our pride.
Yes.
It is still our pride.
And don't forget that we also have, the traditional outfits or material or what in Benue State.
Beautiful.
Yes.
The black and white one.
Now they come with shades.
And then they now come with shades.
They have red and black.
Yes, red and
They
black.
have blue and black.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful. You understand?
Yes.
So we should begin to embrace our own.
Yes.
We don't have textile industries anymore in Nigeria. They are very scarce.
Honestly, it is a shame. I went to Kaduna, was it 2 years ago? And they were showing me, the abandoned,
dilapidated
textile industry.
The buildings are like,
it was Lord Jah.
Yes.
And I said, oh my God. And I remember our own Oba Akran, I go there, I pass there
yes,
and it's like, oh my God, where are we? But I think the governor is looking at that, to come up with the textiles. I think I read something like El Rufai is really looking at that. There's another state governor that is also looking at that. Yeah.
Look at Ghanaians.
Oh my God!
They have made their kente like something out of this world.
Anytime I go to Ghana, I buy.
Exactly. It has become like a souvenir. It's a big deal souvenir that you want to use it. It's like as a shawl. Muffler, something, just to adorn.
There's a white and black one that they also have. A white and black.
They come in different colors. You understand? And they are all very beautiful. So we have ours here. We should begin to embrace what is ours and stop making whatever comes out of Nigeria a big deal. Anything. If you if you are selling slippers and it is made in Nigeria, people tend to respect the one that will come from the Republic of Benin. But slippers Cotonini. What of slippers Nigeria? And we need to talk to all of these industry people that when you're going to produce anything,
excellence.
Don't forget quality. Don't throw away quality and just produce something that because if I add quality to it, it will be more expensive. It's not true. You just want to make too much profit because you go to places like Ghana, places like Togo, and you see their slippers. You understand? Even there was a time that some Nigerians were going to places like Togo, Ghana to make their clothes. Because there was this mindset that a Nigerian tailor will just do a buzz sewing for you. You understand? So a friend of mine even said that maybe they use cutlass. I said those days are gone. Now you have
No,
fashion
yes, and
designers that
and
they are,
I give it to that industry. They are coming up. They are coming up.
honestly,
If you look at the billions, that industry, that fashion industry comes up. And the truth about it is that some of them have actually carved a niche for them to talk about Nigerian products. They make
Yes.
T-shirts,
Yes.
out of Nigerian
Yes.
products. They make shoes. They make sneakers. They make quite a lot of things.
quite a lot. There was even a program they had for children in my church, and the children had this hooded top, and I was like, okay, somebody, this person that made it is not one big designer, but just somebody in one corner in one street did this very clean, very neat, almost seamless. You understand? So we should embrace our own. We should encourage whoever is trying to do the right thing in Nigeria, so that our own too will become worthy of exploitation. You understand? Not that every time you're always importing. We should begin to think about exportation on our product. Like
they are doing.
Me, anything exportation, I'm happy. But the clause there is price. When they started exporting yam, now that time yam come become rich man food. When they started exporting gari, which we used to call soak away in school those days, gari became something else. So in as much as we work towards putting premium on our products, and then looking in the direction of exportation, we shouldn't forget that the people in the country too would need
some to
and we cannot pay in foreign currencies. We have to pay in our currency. And it should be pocket friendly. You understand? So all of these things, if our government can just work it out, it will make the country,
a better place.
A better place. You understand?
All right. Thank you very much. And you're still listening to Panorama on Women Radio WFM 91.7. It's 17 minutes to 1. Let's get your contribution on 07000 917 917 and 090 25455. You can send it in a WhatsApp or a text message to 070 317 56537. Now, we'll go into the next story, and this has to do with, the high cost of governance or the cost of governance in Nigeria. And looking at the situation of things right now, the National Assembly has said that Nigeria, to reduce the cost of governance, more attention should be paid to the executive arm of the federal government, which takes the significant majority of the nation's budget annually. And the House of Representatives specifically stated that cuts should be applied to the executive and not the legislature that gets less than 1% of the allocation of the national of the cost of governance in Nigeria.
Basically, there was one music, I don't know whether it was just Jarawa or added to it. Basically, it has always been basic. Are you getting it? The cost of governance is too humongous. We cannot afford it, and yet we insisted on it, and nobody is beating an eyelid. Package after that, the ball was set rolling some time ago by Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. I remember then. He signed it into law because I think the State Assembly, came up with the bill and then he assented to it. So what am I saying here? Economically, things are not, running well, and you are not cutting costs in governance, and you expect the people the other time they increased the VAT from 5% to 7.5. They want to start taking extra from these and that, heaping extra tax on the people. Where without looking at their own cost of running their various offices. So I think it is a very laudable thing. It should the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, all of them must cut the cost that is being put aside to run all those places because I mean, have you heard? Somebody was telling me that it used to be how many? Do you know what it costs to maintain one private jet? Let alone having 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, which we have in the presidency. So all of these things, what I mean, we are not setting good examples. Every leader should set good example. If you want the citizens to be very prudent, you must cut out every form of frivolity from whatever you are doing. You understand? How about working on our health sector so that Ghanaian president, former Ghanaian president, Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings, who died a few days ago, died in Ghana, in Ghana hospital.
Yeah.
You understand? But in Nigeria, they will fly to Cape and they will fly to Cairo, they will fly to Moon, they will fly to to all the planets before we hear that, and they will not tell us how much has been spent on this medical tourism. So where am I going? I'm just taking on a lighter note. We have to the cost of governance is too expensive. Every state they have license offices here and there. What are you doing there? You have government house in your state. You have liaison offices everywhere, here and there, and you have put your friends there to, and you have to run expenses in those places. We don't need it. The governor wants to go out before he hits the road. Convoy. Everybody must leave. That kind of a thing. It is too expensive. At least we will know that those who are coming into God serious minded, those who really want to come and deliver dividends of democracy, not those who are going to be counting all of the benefits that they will get from there. So National Assembly members, be warming up. You must cut down your expenses. Presidency, executive, you must cut down on your expenses. Judiciary, cut down. Ministers, every appointment holder, you must cut down on your expenses because the minimum wage in Nigeria that we are yet to fully,
accept and implement
is 30,000 naira, which is nothing around what you do. I mean, even your security man is not paid 30,000 naira. So please, we need. I mean, if it is a sign that you are for the people.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibinabo. Yes, Buki, let me get a thought.
Yeah, I will come from this angle that yes, I know the document we're looking at. I mean, it's saying that change narrative that we are looking at cost of governance. From the legislators that is trying to shift it, that we should look at the executive. I think our best bet is to look at our lifestyle, irrespective of either it's legislative, it's executive, it's judiciary, wherever it is. Does our lifestyle, does it support our revenue? For years now, it's been a deficit budget. So if we come from that angle that I am spending what I don't have, that I now have to show up with loans, and then the loans keep coming up. Yes, you will come and argue to say it's capital, but let's really look at it. Look at the picture of a bucket that has so many holes. It is not just one hole. One hole is legislative. One hole is executive. One hole, I mean, there are all kinds of holes. So why can't we sit down as a country? I mean, those who mean well for this company, let us look at all those holes where these things are leaking. It's not just the legislative. It's not. Yes, I agree. Executive, when you look at the ministries, I mean, Bunaba has talked about, the lavish lifestyle. Instead of you cannot be in two cars now, for goodness sake. Once you have one good functioning car, why do you need 3, 4, 5? And then you now have police again. They will now come with their own. And then, I mean, if you look at their convoy, you just say that what kind of exactly it's like we're not thinking. I'm sorry to say, because we can't. I mean, if you cannot afford something, you cut it. You don't say by force, by fire, you must live that lifestyle. So I'm looking at it from the angle of what we are bringing in as revenue. Our lifestyle cannot support it. So can we now, I mean, should they say cut your coat according to your size? Now they say it is do your style according to the fabric that you have, according to the number of yards
Yes, sir.
that you have. So if you cannot do a long dress, I beg, do shorts
dress.
and put on jeans. Do something that curtails that. I mean, that it's within your revenue. That's my own angle. Because if you look, okay, we keep talking about Singapore and all that, and I always keep referring to it that we tend to look at the good things. I mean, the laws they made, but we forget
The sacrifices.
the sacrifices that they make. I mentioned it here that even when they go to UN, when I mean their jets for 3-4 days doing nothing, and then he said,
And they
"Look,
pay.
and they pay," and then he said, "Look." Despite the fact that, I mean, they had something to do, but he just felt that, look, I just need to manage my resources. That's their mindset. Manage resources so that they can do other things. In Singapore, I mean, an average Singaporean has a house. You understand? An average Singaporean, in terms of healthcare, you are rich. Look at their look at their GDP. We cannot compare it, but why? It's because they manage their resources. He went to UN and he said, "Look, I cannot afford." So he went on the normal commercial. Just to sit and go there. You understand? And then in terms of their cost of governance, how they do their things, it's very, very cheap. He had cut it. I mean, to the extent that, look, if you're an official, just wear your white. I'm not saying our own people should not be wearing agbada, but at times I always wonder that, is it an agbada thing? That are we doing a design a fashion parade of agbada? You understand?
If it was just agbada alone, that is the issue here. It would have been.
I'm only saying at times when you see it, it's as if it's a fashion parade of agbada. I'm only like
the agbada. Some people wear agbada. The agbada, what is the cost of the material? Sometimes you just wear the chokoto and the buba, and it is even more expensive than somebody's agbada and etc.
Where I'm going is that can we begin to major on the major and not major on the minor? For goodness sake, our revenue cannot support our lifestyle. So from Mr. President to the ministries, to the governors, to the commissioners, to local government, ordinary local government chairman, see how they
local government go down to the councillors.
You begin to wonder that we are wasting money, and meanwhile in your locality there's a public school that probably they only need maybe just 1 million to sort things out in that place, and meanwhile you cannot even give, and then you come and say that you don't have money. Well, meanwhile your own lifestyle shows that you cannot. I mean, it's
all right.
We need good leaders in this country.
We have to wrap up now, but let me get your final words.
Okay. I just want to say that when you don't do the right thing, that means you are in the habit of not living up to responsibility. Don't shirk your responsibility. Because if you do, that means you are not responsible. I mean, there's word and there is opposite. So I want to just quickly admonish our elected leaders and various public office holders that we need to be prudent at this point, because the large chunk of our budget goes into, I mean, is recurring. You understand? So if we are able to cut down on some of these things, like I read somewhere that the former governor of Lagos State, that is even before Governor Sanwo-Olu came up with this, he refused to take any of those. Are you getting it? So we should take a cue from all of these people. If you have your own money to spend, fine. Yeah. But when you come into the elected offices, you should be very prudent. When you're out of the office,
can continue.
It is your money. You can decide to.
If you have business, use it.
Yes, but Nigerians, our money. You must be prudent with our money. It's not your personal money. I cannot be suffering. My brother, my sisters on the streets. They don't have, no shelter, no clothes, no good food. Our roads are bad. There's somebody who now come and be smelling of the most expensive designer perfume.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibinabo.
Yes, we should cut out all of these frivolities. Yes, it's sad. It's sad, honestly.
The final words, Buki.
Well, let me just sing a song. Ẹ ṣe eré kó dára. Ẹ ṣe eré kó dára o. I would not say ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nípò. Ẹ ṣe eré.
All right. Thank you so much, Buki. Thank you very much. And thank you for staying tuned to Women Radio 91.7. Yes, we didn't get calls. Well, thank you very much for listening to us. I'm sure you actually listened and you had all that had been said. We always keep saying as individuals and as a government to have our parts to play to make Nigeria great. And we should make sure we do our part, both as individuals, the people, and the government. Thank you very much to the producer, Daniela Daja. I am Bukola Balogun. Good afternoon.
To sponsor this program, please call 080-9058-2769.
Akaraka, Echidime.